Being a resident doctor in the UK actually comes with some benefits. Yes. So in this video today, I'm going to be sharing with you guys some of the perks of actually being a resident doctor here in the UK. And for some, I have enjoyed, and some I am actually looking forward to really enjoy. So if this interests you, why don't you come along with me in this video today and let's talk all about it. But eventually you're somebody that you are hoping to actually relocate into the UK to practice medicine, and I don't know if this benefit too also, I don't know if that is how it works in the US and in Canada, I mean like in other Western society. Some of these guys are so juicy. Okay, so let's just get right into it. Hello, my name is Blessing and I'm a medical doctor currently practicing in the UK. I'm a first year trainee, and here on this channel I share about health, wellness, healthy lifestyle. I also share my journey as a doctor in training and generally as an immigrant here in the UK. So you're welcome to become a part of the family. Join us and let's all grow together. Okay, so the first one is actually annual leave. So as a resident doctor here in the UK, you get to enjoy up to about 27 days of annual leave plus 8 days of bank holidays. So that makes it a total of 35 days of leave in a year. And depending on how long you have worked in the NHS, so if you have worked for less than 5 years, then this is what you get. But if you have worked for more than 5 years, I think maybe up to 10 years, you are going to get up to 32 days, either 32 or 33 days of annual leave. However, I don't know if it's entirely correct, but from my research, I was able to find that in Canada, you get up to about 10 days of annual leave. And in the US, you get up to about 24 days of annual leave. I don't know if that is entirely correct, but if this is correct, then it means that the UK is actually doing very well when it comes to annual leave. And the other one is study leave. So as a resident doctor, you get to enjoy study leave. So as a trainee, I am entitled to about 30 days of study leave in a year. However, it's not like these 30 days I am just going to be absent from work and be studying. No. So okay, I'll just use myself as an example. So as a first year psychiatry trainee, I have 30 days, but out of those 30 days, 20 days is actually assigned to my Royal College of Psychiatry teaching. So every week I attend a teaching by the Royal College, and that is for half a day. So for 40 sessions in a year, that is 40 sessions of teachings, that equals to 20 days, because each teaching is usually for half day. So that accounts for 20 days out of those 30 days. And then the remaining 10 days is usually divided into two. So you have 5 days that you can take towards your exam. So if you're preparing for an exam, you are entitled to up to 5 days of leave, of study leave, to actually prepare towards your exam. And then the remaining 5 days is actually for you to attend conferences and things like that. So the third one is study budget. So as a doctor in training, and even for non-training doctors, you are actually entitled to study budget. I think it's up to about £500, and this usually account towards maybe you're preparing for an exam, and some of the materials that you some of the materials towards preparation for your exams can be refunded from your study budget. Maybe if you're going for a conference, some of the expenses towards that conference can also be refunded out of your study budget. So you have up to that. I am not exactly sure of the amount, but I think it's about £500. But I'm going to definitely include the correct amount in the description of this video. Fourth one is actually study sessions. So okay, for psychiatry, I am not sure that we are entitled to this, but I think that in some other specialties, they actually have some study sessions. So it's more like you have some days in the week where you have the opportunity to actually study. I think that in some other specialty, they actually have that time allocated for special, like for self-study. And I think for foundation years, foundation years is what they describe as self-development, time. But I remember we actually asked at the beginning of our training that is there anything like that. But I think as a core trainee, we don't have like self-development time. But I think eventually as we progress in our training and become higher trainees, we will be entitled to some time for self-development. So now the other one is paternity and maternity leave. So as a doctor working in the UK, you are entitled to up to 52 weeks of maternity leave and up to about 2 weeks of paternity leave. These 52 weeks, depending on how long you have worked, in the NHS or in the UK, you are going to get some pay from the government during the course of your maternity leave. It might not be up to, of course, it's not going to be up to what you earn when you are working, but then it's better than nothing. So you're going to get some money from the government during the course of your maternity leave. So the next one I'm going to be talking about is part-time training. So in a way, training actually comes with some form of flexibility. So let me just explain it now. I'm actually talking about this because back home in Nigeria, I don't think, I am not sure it's possible. I am not sure if all of these benefits is actually available back there. So I think it's actually exciting to find out that, okay, this might not be present in some parts of the world. So when we talk about part-time training, so it's more like maybe for some reasons, it could be like for maybe things like childcare, or maybe you're looking after a sick relative, or you have some other commitment such that you cannot commit to a full-time training. So there is opportunity for you to actually do what is described as less than full-time training. So it means that you can do up to a certain percentage of your training. So I think the least you can do is up to 50%. So let's say you're doing like GP training. So for a full-time GP training, that is for like 3 years. So if you decide to do like 50% less than full-time GP training, that is going to mean that you're going to complete your GP training in 6 years, because it's going to take times like a double of the time it would take a full-time for you to do that. So based on the percentage of less than full-time you decide to take, the duration of your training is going to be adjusted in order to fit that. And this could actually be a good opportunity for a lot of things, so that you don't get too overwhelmed with the old training, and so that you can, while you're training, you can still have time to be able to sort out a whole lot of other commitments, that also needs your attention. So the next thing, which is the 7th one, is what we call parental or carers leave. So you are actually entitled to up to 18 weeks of parental or carers leave. And so it means that this 18 weeks, okay, for each child, you have up to 18 weeks, but this 18 week is spread across from when they are born till when they turn 18. So it means that per year, you have up to a week of carers leave until the child is 18. This is not actually like a compulsory leave that you must take, but then if the need arises, maybe something happens with your child care, and for example, you just could not find a replacement or an alternative plan, and then it's coming late and you really cannot leave your child without anyone to look after them, then this can actually come in place. And maybe, for example, your child is sick, and of course you're not going to leave your sick child to go to work, then this is where your carers leave come in. But I think it's usually unpaid, but then it actually gives you the opportunity to be able to sort out that urgent care that your child needs rather than go to work. So this actually is excellent. So you don't have to, all you just have to do is to let them know. And even sometimes when you anticipate it, maybe like you anticipate that in the next week you might have some challenges with childcare, you could actually let them know early enough. And I think it's usually said that up to about, is it 3 or 2 days before the day you will need it, you should let the appropriate authorities know about it, so that the right replacement, the necessary replacement or adjustment can be done. The next thing is NHS pension. So NHS pension is actually said to, a lot of financial advisors will say that it's actually one of the best pensions available here in the UK. So and also the good thing about NHS pension, especially if you, is the fact that it's everything is not just coming from your salary. Your employee contributes a certain percentage to your pension, and then you as the employer also pays a certain amount into your pension. So that is actually one of the benefits you enjoy when you are training as a doctor in the NHS. And it is also considered to be safer than private pension. Like, a lot of changes can happen, and a lot of times it may not tamper with your NHS pension. So the next one I'm going to be talking about is the NHS discount. As a resident doctor in the UK working under the NHS, you are actually entitled to a lot of NHS discounts. So this one I have enjoyed a lot of times. Like recently, I went to buy some stuff for my husband, and then I actually forgot I had my lanyard on, my NHS lanyard. And so when I got into the store and then it was time to pay, and then the lady was like, oh, are you a staff of the NHS? And I said, oh yes. And that was when I realized that I had my lanyard on, and she was like, oh, you are entitled to a certain percentage of discount. And I was like, okay. You know, I was able to get some discount on the things I bought. And I remember when we moved recently and we had to purchase a lot of new electronics in the house, a lot of new gadgets in the house, we actually enjoyed a lot of these benefits. You know, like we actually bought a lot of our gadgets while enjoying a lot of benefits. And you know, sometimes too, when I have to shop, especially online, so I have like this app, it's called the Blue Light app. So it's actually for NHS staff. So the moment you start working in the NHS, you are usually encouraged to actually get a Blue Light app, and it has like almost all the stores you can think about in the UK. They are registered on that Blue Light app. And so if you actually purchase from these stores, there's a certain level of discounts that you're actually given for various things: fashion, gadgets, holidays, food, even some restaurants, and a whole lot of that. So you actually get to enjoy a lot of discounts, you know, by being a resident doctor here in the UK. So peradventure you are a resident doctor here in the UK, what other benefits have you enjoyed just by merely being a resident doctor here in the UK? Please feel free to share in the comment section. Maybe you're not practicing in the UK, which of these benefits or which of these perks, you know, actually like really, you know, got to you and you're like, oh my god, I wish I could enjoy that, you know. Feel free to actually share in the comment section. And so this is where I'm going to be ending this video today. Feel free to like, to comment, and also subscribe to this channel. Until I see you again, take care, bye.